The static in my ears was the first thing to return. Then came the cold, followed immediately by the blinding, acidic light of a sun I didn't recognize. My vision rebooted in sync with my exosuit. Digital artifacts swam across my retinas as the HUD initialized, displaying a terrifyingly short bar of white light in the bottom left corner of my vision. System initialization online. The robotic voice was calm, too calm for the situation. I gasped, sucking in a breath of recycled air that tasted of copper and stale oxygen. I pushed myself up from the dirt. The ground wasn't soil, it was a lattice of fungal matter and red dust that puffed up around my boots. I looked up. The sky wasn't blue. It was a bruised, sickly yellow, dominated by the rings of a gas giant hanging impossibly close in the upper atmosphere. The crash site. A few hundred meters away lay my ship, the Radiant Pillar. It was a mess of sparks and smoke. The starboard wing was sheared off, half buried in a cluster of glowing, pulsating minerals. My memory was a fragmented void. I didn't know where I had come from, or where I was going, but looking at that ship, I felt a deep, instinctive ache. That was my only way off this rock. Hazard protection, falling. The suit's warning cut through my haze. A toxic rain had begun to fall, sizzling as it hit the glass of my visor. The bar in my HUD was dropping. 75%. 70%. I grabbed the device clipped to my belt. The multi-tool. It felt heavy, familiar. My fingers danced over the settings without conscious thought, switching the output from boltcaster to mining beam. The scramble for survival. Okay, I whispered, my voice sounding tinny inside the helmet. Sodium. I need sodium. I raised the visor scanner. The terrain was wire-framed in orange grids, pulsing as it analyzed the surroundings. Unknown mineral. Unknown flora. Hazardous flora detected. Then a yellow icon popped up 300 units away. Sodium-rich plant. I broke into a run. The gravity here was slightly lower than what my body expected, making my strides long and loping. The toxic rain intensified, drumming a frantic rhythm against my suit. Toxic protection at 50%. I reached the cluster of glowing yellow flowers. I didn't have time to pick them gently. I pulled the trigger on the multi-tool. The yellow beam lashed out, instantly vaporizing the organic matter and siphoning the raw elements directly into my inventory. With a mental command, I funneled the isotope into my suit's shielding. A warm hum washed over me as the hazard bar refilled. Technology recharged. I stood there for a moment, panting, watching the toxic storm roll over the alien hills. The loneliness hit me harder than the rain. There were no buildings, no roads, no voice on the comms. Just me, the wind, and 18 quintillion stars staring down at me. Something hovered to my left. A mechanical drone, glowing with an orange cyclopean eye, drifted silently over a ridge. A Sentinel. It scanned a rock I had just destroyed, its eye turning a suspicious shade of blue, then back to orange. It chattered a binary string to itself and drifted away. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. I wasn't just stranded, I was being watched. I looked back at the smoking ruin of my ship. Ferret dust, I muttered, gripping the multi-tool tighter, and dihydrogen for the launch thrusters, one step at a time. I turned toward a massive outcropping of rock and pulled the trigger. The adventure had begun.